he wasn't being allowed to be heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful. Thank you, Mona. Welcome, everyone.
Morning, everybody.
Allison, Craig, Mona, Pascal, Ginny, Lynn, and Neil. So, day 73, let's aim it at a life we love. Aim at choose it. Say it in your head, in your mind. Say it out loud. Put mute, say it out loud. Or whatever your choice is today. I choose a life I love. Living. And so let's take 30 seconds. Sit in that feeling. And then one can start to share what shows up for us there. And what we're looking at is what just shows up for you. So here we go. All right, we gathered. Who'd like to buzz us off, buzz us into our gathering?
Oh,
How about you, Mon? Yeah, Allison, go. Thanks.
I'll go with my words. My words were gratitude and humility for the living the life that I love.
Thanks, Alison. Gratitude and humility. Nice. I'm gonna go with remember. Remember to trust the co-creation of my choice as a creator.
Thank you, Lynn. I'll go. I'm working, so I'm going to go off after this. Just listen. Thank you for the humility and gratitude, Allison. The remembering to trust the co-creation of my creator's choice, Lynn. And I added in the chat, I choose happy connections today.
If it's okay, I'd like to give my word, please. My word for today is
You're muted, Mona.
I'm not muted. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay. My word for today is happy connections.
wonderful.
I think Jenny and I are in the same field.
I'll go. This is Neil here. My word is acknowledge. And when Jesse said, choosing a life that we love, I felt this like tightness in my stomach, which was very surprising to me. And then I realized that, well, I'm going through a divorce, and I think what came up for me at that moment was sort of that whole situation, and in that moment realizing that I'm not loving my life. And then I started to go into like a whole thing, well, like a little story about it, and whatever, judging that feeling. And then I just decided to just acknowledge that and leave it at that, because I could, in the next instant or the next minute or the next hour, love my life. The fact that I was not loving my life in that instant doesn't mean anything about the next instant.
Oh, nice one, Neil.
Yeah, I'll go next. when you said like living a life I love, I felt it not in my heart and not in my throat. It was kind of in between. That's why I put that hand on it. And I kind of asked, like, what does it mean? And I didn't get anything yet. So I don't know.
Mm.
So I'm going to have to sit on that. So there's a connection there.
Hmm.
Well, my word for today is value.
Mhm.
And I was watching one of the Chris videos yesterday about value. And he said that like really like to create a successful business, it's like creating value for people to pay for it. And I had to look at the exercise value. What am I bringing to the table so people want to pay for it? And I'm still in the exploration mode for that. But that made me look at society in general and where we're at. And so when the whole like virus thing came in, I saw that people are putting a lot of value towards something outside themselves. And they feel that they're not powerful enough to really beat this thing or fight this thing. And I'm not here to discuss like personal story or whatever. Like I have my own, and I'm sure you have yours, but I just looked at it as structural. That when we feel like that we go to the doctor, and then like the doctor puts value on the medication, then we're putting our power towards the medication and towards the doctor and not on themselves. So like we think like this thing will, if we don't have this medication, will be the end of us, or like we'll be very sick or whatnot. So yeah, I know this might be a little touchy subject, but I had to say it. It was just, and really it just shows me like our society is evolving, and where are we putting our power? So word for today is value, and I'll be exploring all day on that. And yeah, that's my share.
Thanks, Pascal. Thanks, everyone. I just like to like, in the acknowledgement and the celebration, into hearing it. It's like I hear you guys are being. Oh, I hear awareness, aware you're being charged, and then when you notice that, you are asking, what does it mean? Sometimes like you get an answer, and sometimes you don't. Which tends to mean it's like the lesson's coming yet.
Mhm.
Yeah, wonderful. Oh, I just love. So my word for today is progression.
Mhm.
Progress, moving. Thank you.
Can I comment a little bit?
Mm.
So what was so nice for me was to hear how, Jesse, as you were talking about how people became aware of their charge and then asking about that. And Neil, your testimony about noticing what was going on in your body and just noticing that what that meant, and then realizing, well, that was for that moment. For me, that is such amazing awareness, and it fits so much into my experience of humility and gratitude. That really reverberated for me. And with Pascal's thing about value, just linking value and power together was really beautiful. And Lynn's thing about remembrance, there's a difference in the tone of remembrance and remembering. And remembrance is such a beautiful word, and it somehow carries more honoring in it than just remembering. And then just the joy from Ginny and Mona, the happy joy. So it was a really nice gathering for me. Thank you for that, Jessie. And there's one other thing. So I was remembering a healing session that I had at a time when I was in a lot of trouble. And I woke up with it this morning. And that's where the gratitude came from, because in the healing session, I was asked if I would want to change the date of my departure. And at that point, I didn't feel the level of power in myself that I do now. And I remember saying, no, it's fine. It's fine. And at the end of the healing session, when I walked away, I thought, how can you pass up an offer like that? Like, are you crazy? And so I sat down in the next few days in my own meditation and did whatever I thought I could. Somehow the date did get changed. And so I woke up with that this morning. And the thing about it is that if I had not had that awareness at that point, and this is why I think why your realization was so powerful for me too, Neil. If I didn't have that realization then, I wouldn't be able to have learned in terms of embodying and acknowledging and experiencing everything that I have since then. And it's been a lot more integration, a lot more knowing, a lot more love, and certainly a lot more joy. So your statement this morning about living the life that we love was matched very much for me. Thank you, Jessie. I'm going to be walking, guys, so I'll have my mic off most of the time, but got you in my ears.
Yeah, I have a word of encouragement to share around the choice of living a life I love. And this is historical. It has something to do with Jesse, actually. I remember I was in a session with him, or it'd be back in August or September. And I had exactly the same as you, Neil. I had major charge around that choice of living a life I love. And what I realized there was that life and love for me couldn't coexist in the same sentence or in the same choice. And yeah, and we uncovered that. So the word of encouragement is that that charge has been diffused for me, and it took a while, took a few months to discharge, but it really helped me land on true choices, and true choices that were true for me personally. So what kind of evolved out of it was a very personal true choice, and it's kind of related to living a life you love. But here's how I worded it. I said, I choose to live the desires of my heart. And that's a very personal one for me. And when that landed for me, it changed everything. So in another way of saying it, it's the choice of living a life I love, but it's actually worded in language that really works for me. And so that's the end of encouragement. And I've got 2 words today: compassion and power. And I'm complete for now.
Thank you. I think, Nikki, if you'd like, we're working around sort of the foundation is a life we love, like as a choice. And what we have is gratitude, humility, trusting the co-creation of choice, happy connection squared, acknowledging your power, valuing yourself, your power, your gifts, your power, your genius, progression, progressing, movement, passion, and power.
It's beautiful. Good way to start the day. So good. So good morning, everybody. Yeah. It's wonderful because inner peace doesn't come from getting what we want, but from remembering who we are. So that brings a lot of clarity to me, because sometimes you don't always see what you want. So you believe in knowing that you can have the hope. And for me, that is creation in the invisible to become visible. So my word for the day is hope. To remember who you are and why we're here. So this is a it's a good day. I'm glad to share. So yeah, thank you.
Mm, thank you. It's just acknowledging the gathering, the aligning, and the discovering. In the silence. And so as we roll into breakthroughs, celebrations, acknowledgements, requests, help, it's like here's a space to share your genius, gifts, and greatness.
And your passion and your power.
And to grow and to learn.
Yes, and.
And to speak and communicate.
So I didn't want to show up this morning. I didn't want to do it. Day 2. So just aware, second to notice. It's like, oh, what is that? What's going on with that? Why not? And let's just say like it's part of Pascal, don't know. Another part of like trying something new. Not that I am, it's just that's what the awareness of it is. It's just the truth. It's the truth of the moment. And look at you all that showed up and supported. So thank you.
So what that provoked for me was when you said, it's just the truth of the moment. And it's so true, it's so simple, but I have made it so complicated for so much of my life. And when I don't, that's when I reach the depths of joy and heart's desire and soul's desire and gratitude and awe and wonder. And my head just spins. Thank you for that.
I like to bring something up with truth because we were lied most of our lives because of other people's perceptions, other people's opinions, other people's experiences, and what they wanted. It was almost like a control. It's a control. And that's when I feel when you get to a place when you can educate yourself, going into your heart and knowing what is true for you. Because what's true for you doesn't mean it has to be true for somebody else. There's many truths. And that's where friction comes because everybody wants them to believe in my truth. But as Jesse says, as we come together and we gather, the truth unfolds because we come in awareness of saying, I can question that. And questioning is very important to question the why.
Yeah, and instead than reacting, really like take a few step back and really like, is that true? And just asking that question. Yeah, Nikki, when you said control, like as I finished a Montessori book, learn a different way of guiding my future son. Yeah, it made me reflect a lot, like in not trying to control him, but guiding him and really tune in what is true for me and for him, and making choices around there. So really be a guide instead than a parent, like to really told him what to do. So. And even like in our society, instead, and because that was my pattern, trying to control my sibling to think like I do, while my new me, I'm trying to guide them to better decision if they choose to.
That's really beautiful, Pascal. And it's an amazing awareness. And for me, I think the greatest gift we can ever give our children is our own growth. And at the very least, our own choice and impetus for that. It makes a difference to them. Huge.
Yeah, like be authentic right in the beginning. Right, in any relationship, it's not just like being a parent or any friends, any like loving relationship, just be authentic. And if they like it, good, because they're going to get more of that. And if they don't, then that person is not for you. Don't try to be someone you're not. And that's another big lesson I learned.
Yeah, Pascal. I remember when you spoke about your wife, you know, when you were also talking about the girl that has, for example, you're talking about a friend that liked somebody, but it was out of his league. And he had this fear and he didn't think it was enough. And then you came across saying, when you took upon yourself to be yourself with your wife, to be in showing up, you know, she gave that understanding that she could also be herself. You gave her that space to also love her, because you're loving in knowing that this is what you're showing up for, you know, and to come in that agreement. I think it's vitally important, especially bringing children into the world, that both parents are equally together making decisions and choices. Yeah. for the well-being of everybody in that household. But it starts with the head, and the head is the father. It's the father. And that comes with allowing the body, that is the mother, yeah, that comes into a whole being that rises up, that they can be their authentic self, that he can just allow him to grow and to have his own voice. And I think this is the gift you give to every single person right here today, that you're allowing others to able to speak. And that is to me a gift. Because not everybody had a chance or opportunity to speak their truth, or speak what even today as adults, most of us don't even know what we like, because we were told it wasn't acceptable. It's not right. It's not wrong. It's this. It's that. And you're trying to fit in everybody's little shoebox. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why I cannot be more grateful for a group like this. I cannot think about anywhere else that I can share openly and without judgment. You know, do I agree with everything that has been said today? Probably not, right? But I have no judgment. I'm just kind of like, well, that's their truth. So, you know, I respect that, and hopefully they respect mine. So, and that's the beauty of this group.
I'll say something about the group. Why this group is different for me. And the big difference is that it's not only encouragement, but it's like a sculpting. It's the only word I can think of right now. A sculpting for an awareness of all of ourselves to be present. In other words, in Magnan's terms, superconscious, unconscious, and self-conscious. And that's different to what you get in a therapy group. And that's why I valued this group so much. That's very important to me. And it requires a certain amount of intention on our part and a certain amount of awareness that we bring that with us. And we hold true to that as much as we can. But just having the intention of it shifts the energy for me. And that's why it's different to a therapy group. Because the focus becomes different.
Yeah, I'll add something to this. I think it was beautiful, Allison. The difference between a therapy group and this one is we're speaking in the present. We're telling our present truth to what's come up for us at the moment, instead in a therapy group, we're thinking about the past and thinking that the future is going to be better. So, yeah, for me, that's the big difference. We're speaking the truth at the moment.
Oh my God. Wow. Wow. There's it. Boom. You know, taking not just the power back, but being powerful. Just a being of awareness, being present, being intention, knowing your motives, speaking with love. Because once you speak with love, you cannot speak with judgment. And just allowing to know that we can come as a gathering, as Pascal says, in this now moment, because it's now. Now's the time. This is it. And when you get into that mind frame of being around like-minded people, because this is what is important, because diet is not just food. It's what you're mentally taking in on a daily basis, what you're watching, what you're listening to, who you're associating with, where you're spending your time. And that's what makes you a person that is conscious of being creative. And my husband speaking in the background, because this is what we have to deal with on a daily basis. But I don't get distracted anymore because I'm too focused on the end result of where I want to be, what I want to do. And I know oppositions are going to come, especially with the person you want to be on board with, but not always on board. But that's okay. That's okay, because I now know adversity is going to come. I know trials and tribulations are coming. I don't ask for them, but when they come, I know how to relate to it. I know to say, okay, I see you for who you are, but you're not going to define me anymore. This is where I have to stand on my truth in saying, no one has to agree with me anymore. I don't need authority to tell me what to get permission to do A, B, and C. I'm not here for everybody to agree with me either. It's okay. But you got to be able to take that rejection, to redirect yourself in saying, I'm still going to follow through. And that is when we hold the tension. And it's not easy, trust. As you all know, it's not easy. I don't need to say, trust me. No, you all know it's not easy. It's not easy. But this is the joy. This is the joy of doing it, being it, and experiencing it. And when it comes to a place where you can be around people that do celebrate you, because that is something that I totally love. I'm not here to be tolerated. I'm here to be celebrated. So I'm not around people that gossip. I'm not around mean spirit people. I'm not around greedy people. I'm around very powerful, inspiring, motivating, encouraging, uplifting, healthy, productive, fruitful. It rises me up and allows me to see myself for who I am, even when I don't even know what the next step is. This is where the power is, right here, right now. And a lot of people are not ready for that. And that's okay. But when you stand together as one and you allow somebody to come as they are, where they are, that makes a difference. That's when change happens. By your love and by your example And by your accepting, you don't have to approve it, but just allow, give the permission. Because authenticness, it's a big word, huh? It takes a lifetime to know who you are. And that's why every day you just get to be the best you, the best version of you, because you are progressing. You are going forwards, no matter how long it's taking you. Or myself. Doesn't matter. You are going forwards. You are taking the action. Because when you show up like this, your unconscious is saying, I see you. And this is why when you get off a call like this, you have the energy, you're heart-centered, you're encouraged, you're uplifted. It's because your soul knows what it needs. But as long as you live in this body, you got to direct yourself in training your body where you want to be. Because we're not our bodies and we're not our thoughts. And this is very powerful to understand. We get to direct ourselves. We get to direct it by the focus of where we are putting our attention. And telling, this is what I'm choosing. Because by the actions, we are actually telling our unconscious, yes, yes, yes. And it's the yes, 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 yes. Say yes, yes, yes to you. We've been saying no to ourselves for decades. It's time to say yes.
Good morning, Marcia. I'd like to invite you this morning to share your wisdom. We've been discussing about a true choice of living a life that we love and what does it represent to us. And yeah, we have these beautiful words, if I can post them. But without even looking at the list, I'd like you to share what is the word of your day.
All right. Thank you, Pascal and everyone. Yeah, that was inspiring, Nikki. I was in a place where that was good words for me. And I thought my word for today would be opening. And it came to me that the picture of the bees, that Craig had posted about this gal, the family had found them underneath their floor, I guess, and I'd asked her to come remove them. And I thought, for them to find a choice place to build their hive, and it was a thriving hive of gentle bees. that's where I'm going to thrive is in creation and in creating the life I love. And then as Nikki was talking, I realized it was also choice, that I have many choices through superconscious, and the world essentially is my oyster. And I have the power to be anything I want.
Someone's opening oyster. I like the oyster analogy, the word, because I felt like I lived most of my life in an oyster, and now I finally crack it open.
Mm.
And now it's time for me to explore this world and share my gift, my genius, my value.
All right. Yeah. Thank you all. I am complete. If you'd like to, I'm going to sign off. If anyone would like to stay, I can hand them host and let them continue on.
This was a beautiful session for me. I'm going to also.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's just call it complete. I'll just call it complete with that.
Thank
for
you,
now.
everybody.
Yeah.
Thank
you
you,
all. Have a
everyone.
wonderful day.
You guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bye all.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
I'll
Yes.
see you tomorrow.
Okay. Great day. Love it.